All right, good morning. I'm Anson Massey, and I have a 40-minute drive to work every morning and back. So during my morning drive, I'm always looking for something to pass the time. I like to listen to the radio a little bit, even my own radio station that I work for. Sometimes I'll kick in a CD, but I thought I'd try something a little different because the camera that I have on my phone looks directly at me, as you can see. So since I am a sportscaster, since I like to give my opinions, I thought I would share, not every day, but I thought, whenever I have something on my mind, I thought I'd bring it up and share with you. So congratulations, you're elected, those who are fortunate enough or unfortunate enough to run across my little video blog here on YouTube. Going to call it On My Way to Work. Mostly going to be about sports. Like I said, I've been a sportscaster for 17 years now. I've been working in the radio and television business for that long, and sports just seems to have this lack of accountability. You can say whatever you want and seem to get away with it, even no matter how right or how wrong you are. So probably going to go that direction, and I like to stay away from politics, even though I do certainly have my opinions on that. I'm just not very public about it. So anyway, let's get right to it. Something I've been following ever since it really started in the NFL is this little bounty program that the New Orleans Saints supposedly had that's gotten everybody into trouble over there, including Sean Payton, Scott Vegeta, and let's see, Michael Vilma, players and coaches who have been suspended. There was one other coach that was suspended. They were suspended for the whole year. At least the coaches were. I think the players were as well. But anyway, here's my thought on this. Just recently, yesterday, Paul Tagliabue, former commissioner of the NFL, he was appointed by current commissioner Roger Goodell to hear the appeals hearing. And he made a ruling yesterday, and it's a very interesting ruling. He lifted the suspensions, even though he supported the factual findings that Roger Goodell made, that in fact there was a bounty program and players were paid bonus money for hard tackles, hard hits, and especially injuring a player like a Brett Favre or like a Kurt Warner. And my thought on this, if this is the NFL, these are the best players, the best athletes that we have in the world or in the country, at least the best football players. It's no secret that football is a very violent game. It's also no secret that athletes now are much faster, much stronger than they have been in the past. That just continues to evolve. But when you look at the strategy of an NFL team, or a college team, or a high school team, or anybody, of course, if you can injure the best player on the other team, you're going to try to do it. That doesn't mean you're a dirty team, doesn't mean you're a dirty player, doesn't mean you're always going to go low at the knees of an opposing player. But this is football. Any way you can gain an advantage, especially when millions or even billions of dollars are at stake, you're going to do that. So if you offer your players a little extra money, if they make a hard hit on a quarterback or a running back or take somebody out of the ball game, then do we really think that everybody's not doing that? The Saints just got caught. But is it really right to suspend these guys for a whole season and basically take them out of the game that they're so passionate for? Everybody has bounties. Everybody is looking to take out the opposing team's best player. You've seen clips of Brett Favre playing. Every time he'd take a big hit, he'd get up and say, "I'm here all day. I'm here all day. You can't knock me out." It happens everywhere. I remember watching a movie. It was a story of Ernie Davis called The Express. Ernie Davis, of course, the first Black Heisman Trophy winner, and he was a great player for Syracuse University. They come down to Dallas to play in the Cotton Bowl against the University of Texas, and the scouting reports on Ernie Davis are that he had a bad hamstring. So, of course, this was targeted. Every time there was a pile-up after a play, you'd see him giving the business down there a little bit, punching on that hamstring, going for it. This is football. This is the way it's done. Just because there's a bounty program doesn't mean that these NFL players and these coaches, they're not trying to kill anybody. They're not trying to permanently injure somebody. They just want to put a little extra emphasis every time they get a clean shot on them. Because, I mean, come on. If Brett Favre is in the game, your chances of winning are very slim. He's Brett Favre. But if Tavares Jackson's in the ball game because Brett Favre has a bad ankle, well, your chances of winning just increased a little bit. And that's just football. That's the business of it. That's the game. It's a violent game. It always will be. Yes, I understand that safety is a bigger concern because these athletes are bigger and stronger. There is a continued emphasis on concussions, which I do agree with. They do need to penalize players for these helmet-to-helmet hits, for targeting a defenseless player. There are penalties for it. call the penalties. If somebody hits a quarterback low or hits a quarterback high, call a penalty. But suspending a player for the entire year, suspending a coach and taking the leader away from a team because of something like this, I'm not going to agree with. You let the officials enforce it. That's what they're there for. If they think that a player is being targeted and they're trying to injure the player, there are rules for this. Like I said, if they hit him late, low, high, throw a penalty flag. Eject a player from the game if you have to. Why don't we have the little 2 technical foul rule like we do in basketball? If you get 2 15-yard penalties or 2 personal fouls called against you, you're gone. Let's enforce it that way. That might put a little bit of ease onto the situation, but let's just be real. Players are going to target other players. It's going to happen. It's football. It happens at every level. I've been covering high school sports primarily for my entire 17-year career. It happens there. It happens in all levels of the game. Coaches think, no, a player's got a sore ankle or a sore shoulder, sore hamstring. They're going to try to put him on it. They're going to try to get him out of the ball game. Not wanting to hurt the guy or end his career, but they're wanting to get an advantage for that ball game. So there you go. That's about how this is going to work. Just thought I'd share that with you. I'll have more opinions whenever I have something on my mind, and I'll post it for you. I'm Anson Massey, and I'm on my way to work.